What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to this edition of Tricks of the Month Profiles. Today we get to hang out with Jeremiah and Jesse Johnston. I was wondering if you guys could tell us a little bit more about yourselves. Are you related? Where are you from? How long you've been juggling? And what you're most excited about when it comes to juggling right now?
Awesome. That's a good start to the interview, I'd say. We are brothers. We are Jeremiah and Jesse Johnston, the Juggling Johnston brothers we've gone by in the past.
As you can see by the mirrored chins.
Yeah.
When you guys do that, when you turn towards each other, it's like an Escher painting.
Yeah, nice.
Right.
You can see the extra person right in between.
Yeah, right.
A little touch of ginger comes out.
Yeah. So we've been juggling together for about 10 years. We really got into it when we started club passing, which was something that my dad used to do a lot of way back in the day. Back in the Bay Area scene, he used to even teach some club passing classes. So we've always had juggling equipment lying around, even back in our younger years, but really didn't pick it up until more toward the end of high school for both of us. Mm-hmm. And once we found it and we learned some basic skills, it just took off and things started clicking really fast for us, and it became an obsession, as it often does when you first start juggling.
And then we went off to college.
Yeah.
And he went off to college first, and I was back in high school, and he came back with 3 balls. He's like, you need to learn how to do this so that we can do this together. And then we ran off and joined the Humboldt Circus for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Where we got a lot of performance experience, met our
You joined the circus together?
Yeah. It's a club up on campus up at Humboldt State University, the Humboldt Circus. And it's just a free organization that everybody can participate in. We helped throw the Humboldt Juggling Festival for 5 years. Jared was president. I was treasurer and artistic director. And we're performing in all the main shows, running workshops. We met our performance partners, Stephen Weavin the Clown and Dr. Bonkers Eli March. And we created the Poetic Motion Machine, where we went and won a bronze medal at the IJA.
Wow.
2008?
2009.
It was 2009. And then the next year, 3 of us went back for a repeat and won a silver medal.
Okay.
So between Jared and I, we each have we've got 4 juggling medals under our belts.
Wow.
Club passing skill.
Congrats. So that was in 2009. What's happened between then and now?
Whole bunch of stuff. Graduating college, trying to figure out how to pay the bills, going on circus tour several times. I got involved with a group called the New Old Time Chautauqua. I was involved with Flying Karamazov Brothers, did some benefit tours in California and up in Oregon. Personally, I've done a lot more just volunteer stuff and performing for my own sake. Jared's been doing a lot more of the professional circuit. I've been trying to get my feet wet and get a little more on the train as well.
Okay.
Yeah, after college for me, we were in college when we first started juggling together, and so that's that period of your life where you're trying to figure it out. And as brothers, we'd always spend so much time together and club passing came so naturally that it was something that we always did and did at different levels of like seriousness together. And sometimes we just realized we needed to get off and do our own thing. So there's been periods where we juggle intensively together, and then there's been years where we haven't juggled nearly as much. And after college, and after the Poetic Motion Machine, which was our first big project with a couple other people, I actually moved back to the Sierra Nevadas here in Murphy's, California, kind of close to Yosemite, and started working with 2 other jugglers whom you guys probably know well, Kevin Axtell and Aaron Stevens. We created
those guys.
Yeah, we created Mountain Motion and ran that for about close to 3 years. Mm-hmm. And that was where I went back to the IJA to get my second team medal.
Okay.
And we had a great little run. It was really fun. I think we all learned a ton about performing and working with the group, and did some great acts together. It was a process for me that had a lot of personal growth as a professional entertainer. It was the most professional performing that we had done
Yep.
so far, or that I had done so far. And eventually we wound that project up, just seeing differences in our visions and where we wanted to go with our futures. And since then, Jesse and I have done more passing and put together an act last year, which was our first act since probably the Poetic Motion Machine or somewhere around that time.
We did Berkeley Juggling Festival in 2012.
Right. Usually when we've passed, it's been more for a juggling audience, and
right.
It's been more as a hobby for the two of us. Though we definitely recognize a strong chemistry as a team of jugglers as well. Like we feel like there's a lot of potential there for us to pursue something as a comedic juggling passing dynamic duo of sorts. The time just hasn't quite come for it yet.
I totally hear what you're saying, because I grew up playing soccer, and my brother plays soccer. He doesn't juggle, so I don't get to share this with you, or like you guys do. But whenever we're like playing soccer together, like pickup or like at a community center or something, like we're always like, when we're together, like we just play so much better. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
That's the brother glue.
It's true.
Yeah.
So it looks like one of you is an artist. Does that does that play into your juggling at all?
Oh, absolutely. I've been doing live art at a festival called Fire Drums the last 2 years. We do like 3 days of workshops and fire circles all night, and I set up around the fire circle with a big art wall and do live painting.
Cool.
And it's a nice balance for me, because so many images and ideas of patterns and paintings come into my mind while I'm juggling, and to be able to like go and paint all of the inspiration that I see and then go and turn that into tricks and kind of meld all of my different art forms makes a big difference. If I get caught up on a juggling trick, for instance, I'll go and do some art or play some music, and it gives me another outlet to then keep my creative flow going. So it's kind of a nice trifecta that keeps me excited about all different forms of creation. And painting is definitely a huge part of it, as I've been painting since I was a child and got my art degree up at Humboldt State. So I'm trying to integrate myself as an artist into the fact that I'm also a juggler. And I feel like there's a lot of really amazing imagery that can be captured and also shared with the whole community. Every time I go and paint and do juggling art for people, they're like, wow, this is amazing. I've never seen anything like this. And it really like strikes people in a really positive way. And to be able to like take something away that reminds you of the experience, reminds you of the tricks and the inspiration that comes out of all the juggling is a really important thing that I love to share with people.
Sweet. So you guys, you do some flow stuff too, juggling and flow. How do you like kind of combining those things?
Oh man, so many ways. The juggling and the flow arts for me have been like melted together ever since I got started, really. I got started juggling when I found my dad's old juggling torches. And that was like the initial boost of inspiration that like got me going. And once I found fire juggling, naturally the fire dancing community kind of revealed itself. And I began spinning staff, and then quickly moved on to poi. And suddenly I was doing all these different props, and I started to see the relationships between them. And so poi spinning for me has been massively informing for my club juggling, and like how poi spinning, because it's on a tether rather than a static prop, you have to just like allow the prop to do what it naturally kind of wants to do. And allowing the clubs to do the same type of thing have allowed me to just move with the prop and allow it to move around me in a way that's made it feel really natural and smooth, and has been very informing on my club juggling style in particular.
Definitely.
I feel like the fire arts definitely has influenced our whole flow and style of juggling, because it's given us all of the spinning access and the dancing element that sometimes I feel like isn't as much involved in a lot of sport juggling. For instance, 7 balls and all of this stuff is very much up here, and it's not very physically dancing and mobile, it seems like a lot of the time. So to actually dance with everything that we do and, add that into the mix is
and in a performance sense too, fire juggling, other than maybe seeing it on the street as kind of a novelty type thing, you don't see very many technically sound jugglers like really push a fire performance. And that's one thing that we've really enjoyed doing over the years is assembling fire routines where we'll go out and we won't just pass fire. We'll like be working on our tomahawks and our doubles and our triples and figuring out how to do some of the takeout patterns with fire and that sort of thing. And that adds a different level in it. It provides a unique niche that you don't get very often.
A niche.
Yeah.
All right.
Or a special species.
Well, that's awesome. It's cool to kind of hear a little bit of background about where you guys came from and how your style has developed. In your Tricks of the Month video, what do you want people to walk away with? What are you trying to communicate through it?
I think the number one thing that we want to communicate is really cool juggling.
We're
of
having
course.
Fun.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun. That's the whole point of
we hang out on this beautiful hilltop and live in the woods, so it's beautiful to be able to share that part of our life with everybody at the same time as what we're doing in it.
Yeah.
So,
and in this particular video, we'll have showcased some of the more fringe styles. So we'll be using traps in our passing and scissor catches in our passing and like adding some staff grips and some spinning into the passing as well. All kind of around the framework of a 4 and a 2 count passing, or everys and every others, sometimes called.
Which all integrates our other project, Club Motion, that we created several years ago, which is a style of juggling that integrates all the scissor catches and switching between scissor catches and traps and grapples. And we kind of created a whole language surrounding defining different scissor catches, from staff grip to circus grip and everything in between. So
club manipulation. It's all about that project was all about the club manipulation.
Yeah.
Diving into it and finding a structure that could be easily taught and expressed to other people to get them started on club manipulation. Oftentimes you see it and it's kind of elusive. It's like, okay, now he's rolling it on his arm and then under his leg. And if I was to learn this, where the heck would I even start?
Right.
That was one of the big goals for Club Motion. Establish a system that can be taught.
To answer that question right now, if somebody wanted to learn some of the stuff you're going to be seeing, where could they even start?
Well, we have a few intro tutorials online. They're a little old now, but they get the point across well. There's an intro to wrist traps and an intro to scissor catches through the Club Motion video channel. That's Club Motion, all as one word. And that can be found
in a club.
Yeah, that can be found. That can be found on YouTube or on Juggling TV.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and then from that, there should be links to find the Club Motion DVD, which has even more detailed information about how to do basic wrist traps and scissor catches and such. And it's a lot of that kind of stuff that we start integrating into the passing. That DVD doesn't specifically make that connection. That's part of the next project that we hope to achieve in the next couple of years with that instructional element.
We have the workshops.
Yeah. Find us at a juggling festival.
There you go.
Come to the Humboldt Juggling Festival.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, it was great to get to know you guys a little bit. Excited to see the video. It will already be out by the time this gets posted, but I'm sure we're going to love it. And you guys have the last word, so what's some words of inspiration to the juggling community at large?
Good question. Once again, remember that you're there to have fun. So remember to connect with your community, and
share, play together,
passing,
learn how to play together, passing, doctoring, takeouts, like handing props back and forth to each other, just breaking down to the simplest of patterns and building back up is really important to just play with other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it builds community, it builds ideas, it builds amazing performances, and it's the spice of life.
Mm-hmm. It's community or juggling is inherently to us a community building activity. It's one of the best things that we've seen, whether you're teaching kids how to juggle or you're teaching your friends, like it helps build a dialogue that's very like real between people.
Mm-hmm.
And from that simple discussion about how to do a 3-ball pattern, for example, you can end up learning a lot about people just because you've already like broken down that communication line. So yeah, get out and help make some new jugglers out there.
Share, play.
Yeah.
All right.
It all grows, and the appreciation for the art grows the more that we share it with the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great words of inspiration. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thanks so much for being with us. Me and Ava. She's asleep now. We put her to sleep.
Aww.
And for everybody else, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to check out my channel for more interviews just like this and highlight reels every single week. And until next time, keep on juggling.
Yeah.
Bye.